complex nage. And maybe it's good to first know how you can shift your weight while being balanced and connect to something. Like for example, if you're standing here over your arm, I can go here and touch it. Oh yeah, I touch your arm and it looks like the form. But if you pull me that direction, there's just nothing. Okay? So I can shift my weight and I can transfer some energy to him. It's on a really physical level until really ether subtle level. But if you do it a little bit more physical, I'm standing here and I put my weight a bit forward and then it goes towards him. You can see his skin move, and then I aim it towards him to the center line. This whole structure. If he pushes me now, I'm just leaning into it. But if he pulls, it's the same. I'm still leaning into it. So I want to. The aim of this exercise is to stay connected to the other one. And when he does Tenkan, now I'm still leaning towards him. Right? I'm not leaning forward because he's not there. I'm touching here and through here. I'm leaning into his structure. But if he goes away all of a sudden, I'm still stable, right? But you feel I'm leaning on you, right? So practice that I can move like this, lean into the structure without losing balance. Because if I'm leaning on him, he goes away all like this. But if he goes that way, I'm still connected, leaning into him. So I'm always giving him energy. And this is not the end goal, so this is baby steps to be able to do it. Now, for example, if he starts to move, he doesn't move me, he tries to move me, right? Now you move yourself, and I'm in this structure, so that's why I'm moving, because I'm leaning into him. Now you go down, and now you push me, right? So if he moves me, it's no use, because I'm really stable. But if you move yourself, and I'm leaning in your structure, then I go, and if you go, now you push against me, you feel? You saw his head also lean. It's just a signal, but it's the outside signal, but I feel he's pushing me. So I'm leaning into you, you move your tongue and you move everything, and I'm following. Right? It's quite easy, but it takes some time to feel it's easy. But you can see when you threw me, it looked like Aikido, right? It was harmony, it was like one movement. So, thanks. So, if I go to the edge of the third, try it. You go to the edge, let's say to the side. Now you feel already something happen, and if you go over the edge, what will be the best thing to do at that moment? Do you want to be in this space?
No.
And why not?
But it feels uncomfortable, you are out of balance.
Uncomfortable and out of balance. Those are two signals, and especially uncomfortable. Like the pressure on my knee is too much. Right? So if I go back to the middle third, there is some pressure, but it's good. It's nice. I can move until this far. I can move. So stay away from it. So what happens often, like when you throw someone, for example, this one. So here you go up, and then I want to throw. I go and check this, my middle third. See what I'm doing? And it feels very much. Oh, there's a lot of weight moving, and I get pushed away, pushed, here, pushed, pulled. But it's no use. If you touch it, and if you do it to me, I can show you. You go up and you just shift your weight forward. See, this happens. So if you train together and you never get this feedback because I'm still balanced when I take ukumi, you think, oh, I'm doing very well, right? This doesn't happen. I'm always inside this movement, and that was enough. And then rotate together. I think if you already do that, your Aikido will be really good. But how I explain it, if you go to this line and you go over the line, then this one becomes full, it's empty, so you can easily just put your foot there or you come forward. It's too much, then it shifts easily. So when you move, it's very easy to move like this, but I'm still in my center line, even when I'm standing like this. between this middle point, I'm in the middle third. Always, I'm really balanced. For example, this one, reach. You can stand here, reach. It's no problem. It's not this, reach. Now I fell over. Right? I was at this point and I fell over and I caught myself falling. And it's exaggerated, but this happens all the time. If you look at Aikido, everybody is falling. Uke is falling, and Naga comes and then he falls. So kind of falling all the time. And we have been practicing that when someone's falling, just try to feel it and give a little push. Then you feel almost like this. But if you're not falling, you can push, but nothing happens because it's always balanced. You can go fast, but it's always balanced, right? So try it. Maybe just play with that. We are not going to do the uke part, but I was just showing you. And you do some movement the way you like and you like it. Just play with it, put it down, up, and play with it. Feel how it goes. And maybe you want to do a little bit different than, oh yeah, I fall. Oh, I fall, I catch myself. I go outside. I'm really inside. And now I go out there and just play with, oh, that's a different feeling. Then we do some Aikido, it's good for And your partner can help a lot. Like for example, if you come here, it's really great to be in front of the if you're standing here and you do this exercise, you go next to me and you play with this middle third. Exactly. So now you're kind of thinking, so I want to help you again. Just think in it and feel that. And when you move, just feel this transfer. Yeah.
And now I'm feeling out of balance.
So now go back to this middle third. And continue. And relax a little bit, middle third. Yes. See? So that's the role of Uke, it's kind of the teacher. So I'm helping. Now I'm talking too much, so please don't talk so much, but help for the first time. But then I'll be more silent and I'm just helping her to be able to do it. If I have a little, if you try it again, it's gonna be like this. I'm holding stronger, you see? It's already difficult, and then I give some extra really difficult feedback to also deal with it, right? And maybe it's more beginner than this. With advanced is the same. So we are here helping to really hold strong. Yes, but you have to resist, and when I fight after this and blah, we're just practicing this, right? So help the other one to get the feeling. In the end, it doesn't matter much. I was doing with some. Can I please? I was doing with some people like I'm here, and then, oh, it happens. The other one was stiff and standing there like a rock. What? I'm standing here. We will go into that. Sometimes this situation happens. So then what will be my intention? I'm standing here. I want to go with empty step to the side and shift this middle third. But then I feel some resistance here, like I'm pushing a tree. What will be my intent? My first response?
Push up.
Push here, yeah, right? Fight, flee, and it's stronger than me. I saw somewhere that like this fight, flee response is more than 100,000 times faster than your awareness. Right? To do this, it happened. You cannot do anything. It's so fast, and then you come back to say, hold on, I'm here at the seminar. It's okay. I can relax. This goes really fast. So, push against it. Oh, I not push against it. I just move my middle third, and then it happens. And then you said, it's not coming from where I expected it. It's coming from here, and that's why it works. But if you go there where you expect to be pushed, it's really easy to stop. And many techniques are like, if you know where it comes and you feel it, we talked about yesterday, you said it, right? If a form comes up, if there's nothing, it's really hard to, but if a form comes up, you can start to do something with it. it's funny with fear in the dark. Because if you're just standing in the dark, for example in a wood by yourself, far away from everything, and you don't know the area, you have no clue how to solve it, just create some situation, you're standing there, no problem, you stand just like here. Until you get some shape, maybe there's someone who wants to do something with me. And then all of a sudden it becomes quite a thing, you really, but if you just, oh yeah, I'm standing here, and it has no way to, how do you say, attach to you, attach to you, right? I would look at my phone, like where's the direction, and go back, or enjoy this exercise, whatever you want. But when fear comes up, you can really, and everybody has his own experience with fear. It could be like really massively fear, which is really, it's good to have help to solve it. If you're in this area when fear comes up and you can stay in yourself, you're connected to heaven and earth or Tannenbal or whatever thought or whatever practice is in your system, and from there you're just standing there, connecting with fear. It's nice to connect with happiness, for example, like here we're more relaxed, we connect with relaxation, that's nice, but fear is the same as relaxation. Yeah, no, right? Both. It's not the same, but it's the same. It's just an experience. So you experience uke. So it's a practice. That's uke. It's something else. And it triggers you. It invites you to think in duality. I am going to push you. Yeah, we do it. Aikido's harmony. Then I push you to the ground. It's harmony. I'm coming in softly. There's nothing wrong here. Well, I push you to the ground. Right? But it's not. I'm inviting, there's a connection, it's voluntary. And voluntary, it's giving me ki all the way. Even at the end when I'm moving, still sending ki towards me. Even when it's falling, still sending ki towards me. In the ideal situation, because we do an exercise now, I was looking around, many people fall like this. Yeah. So this is theater. What was I expressing? What was I showing?
Falling.
Good, yes.
No balance.
Huh?
No balance.
Yeah, I love
No
balance.
center.
Exactly. So I fell on the ground to regain balance again. I'm here, and all of a sudden you can see this is a sign. My center line is like this, so I'm not connected anymore. And then outside my middle third. So I'm ready to just drop down to the ground. And this is very common sight if you look in a dojo. Very common way of falling forwards also. Right? So I was just playing with it while you were practicing. Like if it's middle third, the best thing is to move like this. Aikido is not much like this, but like this. So I'm here, middle third, and I'm just down, in the middle third. There's no losing balance. If you want to go a little bit further in this direction, I can go until here. Right? I'm on this edge and balanced. It becomes really small. And it's the normal stance. So I can, when I go down, I can still extend ki to the other one. Kicking. Or holding and showing like, hey, you're unbalanced. I'm still balanced. Taking you down with me, yeah. Right, so ukami is not falling. When you do this exercise, from this side, you do a little bit first like a falling motion, and I'm pushing this direction. So yeah, you fell to that side. You fell here. There was an unbalanced moment, right? And you're still trying to kind of hold your ground, but just fall down. You can see it clearly. Feel? You're like, oh, I'm falling. The side wind is kind of pushing me over. But if you do the exercise we just did, I feel the balance on one side, then it's shifting, and there's no movement at all to this direction. And it's not like I have to withstand this pressure from the side. It means he can extend ki towards Nage. And that's the whole point. I'm extending ki to you. I'm attacking you. Right? So maybe try it. Just be aware when he moves down, don't do your head here. Maybe one time, but, yeah. But just a push. It's just a feeling. Does he lose balance and you fall down? He likes to do correctly, good. It's a small moment you felt in the beginning,
Yeah.
and if you fall down,
Just trying to get on this side.
yeah,
And then
so play with it. So with a little feedback, it's maybe another thing is also rotating tandem ball. If you rotate in, you're in and you're out, out, in, out, in, out, and then there's nothing happens. The only thing you do like this, like a pocket knife, right? You just and go in, go out, in, out, in, out, and then really nothing happens. Just let's not do it because then all weekend we're doing these exercises, but there's many ways to exercise. Well, maybe 1 minute. Right? So try it. In, out. Then there's no effort at all. Please stop. Okay, so ukumi as an uke, we can go down to the ground while staying balanced. That's a good ingredient. And now we're, what I was showing in the beginning, we made it. An hour later, we are there. I'm here and I'm shifting my middle third towards him, so I'm leaning into his structure. But when he takes away his arm, there's no effect at all. But it's not like I'm pushing with my arm. It's not like I'm leaning and out of balance. Right? So I'm just shifting this within my middle third, and I give you this pressure. Right? So that's a start. So please start it. It's not so difficult, right? So middle third. I felt with someone like more muscle in the arm, or why the muscles? It brings unbalance. So just relax, touch, and then from here create this pressure. So again, not where you expected it. I'm not pushing here.
No.
I'm just leaning into a structure, right? While regaining balance. So if you do it to me, just relax your arms, really relaxed, and it's just lean in maybe a bit more. Yes, sure. Okay. So now I'm standing here, so you're leaning towards me, but now I'm here. So I saw you towards me a little bit in this direction. You see? So. But you did quite well already because I did it with you, right? And you was pushing in my structure, and all of a sudden I was here like a shadow, and you were still pushing there. So your awareness is I'm not pushing forward, I'm leaning into the structure of Nage. I will receive golden nuggets from Nage, right? I will experience Misogi. I will be cleansed. I will be purified. Nage is Aikido's Misogi, and he will perform it on me. He will not push me, he will not pull me, he will show me the universe and all its secrets. Right? He will bring me into a state that's connected to heaven and earth, because he is connected to heaven and earth. Hopefully you are, but right? That's Naga. So you want to lean into that. And if I walk away, you are connected to that because you're really happy to be able to lean into something like that that's purifying you. Now I was on my back leg, I rotated, and you saw, now you stop pushing, you thought, now we can do something because he's still leaning into my structure. Right? So the exercise is, you lean into me, but if I'm doing this movement and I'm still balanced, of course, because he's leaning into me and I'm unbalanced, what happens? Now it's your arm more, right? But if you lean in me and I'm unbalanced, I will fall. Right? So you get feedback as Nage, I have to be always balanced. So you lean into my structure, I'm happy to receive this energy. It's in my structure. I'm not avoiding it, try to go quickly around it and then push it away. I want to get it in my structure. He's leaning into me, he's giving energy, and while moving, I'm receiving this energy. I'm leaning in my structure, yes, leaning in my structure. And this is what we're doing during all techniques. This is a small, easy way to practice the beginning. So you understand? I'm leaning into it. So I'm not leaning forward, I'm leaning into Naga, who is showing me, I don't know, how you know what I mean? He's helping me to purify myself. And then compare it to the one that's holding, you cannot move me. Right? Do you know that, Luca? Maybe this hand you can do more, you can do it. He's just holding. Yeah. He's holding me strong, he's resisting. Do you think he really receives Misogi when we start to do this? First of all, nothing's happening, he's not attacking me, so it's like, we want to be friends, we want to get married, or how long are we going to stay like this? Yeah. And if it's fighting, it's like, okay, why are you standing like this? It's really easy for you, if you're like a sitting duck, because he's like a dartboard, and he's really stiff, so I'm just throwing wherever I want to go, just do anything. So it's useless to stand like this, right? In Aikido, it's often like, how do you escape from this, or how do you do this with harmony? It's an exercise, but today, at this moment, we're not doing it. So he's leaning in my structure, he's giving me energy, he allows me to practice. In a way, he's a teacher, because he allows me to get this experience, to get really in this role of Naga, to perform Masogi. So if I lose balance, I will get feedback. Not because he pushes me more, but because he's leaning in my structure. So if I go forward and I keep balancing and leaning in me, so you kind of, you also stay connected. And yeah, it's like, leaning in me, yes, leaning in me. So your awareness can be big, not only focus on, yeah, exactly. And now, we will not do it, I will maybe late. I'm on my back foot, I rotate inside my head. And then we get this movement to the side. But just forget this part. So he's leaning into me and you go to Tenkan and he keeps on leaning. Yes? Thanks. So now at the moment, he's leaning in my structure while remaining balanced. Here, just relax, stand up. I'm just leaning in my structure, that's all. See? Because this movement creates unbalance inside you. So you still haven't connected yet. You're connected in me. So now when I start to rotate, he's still leaning in me. Leaning in me. Leaning towards me. Now you start to move, see. Otherwise I have to pull you. Yeah? You felt there was a moment like, and I was tempted to pull you, but I said, no, I'm not doing it. Just give me energy so movement can happen. Yes, so there. Now keep on leaning in this. Because this is a weak point. If I'm here and you're intent on I'm leaning, and you're rotating yourself, for example, you rotate your tongue and ball this direction. I'll lean into you and you rotate. I'll be like this, 100%. And then if you do it again, I will not be like this. That's a little bit you.
Yeah.
You were leaning in me, but here was kind of, the key was blocked. So leaning, against me, leaning. And keep on leaning on this point. Balance, lean, more lean. Did you see it went away for a moment and then it came back? And lean, and stay balanced. Yeah, good. And now he was able to maintain this attack, this connection. But I attack to you always, and you have to just sending this energy to the center line, this whole movement. So if you do that exercise, I'm leaning in it, you rotate, I'm leaning in. If he continues, I'm leaning in, leaning. This is not the end solution, this is a beginning, because in the end we do it more with awareness, like air. This is more like tangible, like with weight and structure. So try it with the whole movement. During the whole movement, lean into him, don't fall, because that's also a fine line, right? Like you say, it's a fine line between falling and being middle there. Here, I'm there, I'm here. If it stops, I'm balanced, right? But if it continues, I can continue this movement. Yeah. But how does it go? Now you're leaning into a structure which is over and you're just constant. My key force is from the ground. I'm relaxed on the ground. It's through my body. It's connected to the other one wherever he is. And it's constant. I'm in balance so I can extend. Because I'm in balance I can extend this energy to him. If I'm unbalanced I cannot extend anymore. I have to pull it from here, right? I'm pushing only this muscle. It starts maybe here. I'm pulling but I cannot get it from the ground. So I have to be on the ground and I can push from my structure in the other one. And then continuous, this whole movement. Even in the end when I'm falling, the structure from my feet, this energy goes towards the other one. Right? Always. Right? So that was what you were doing. He's leaning in my structure and okay, I'm going here. And Uke is like, I'm trying to lean into the ground. Right? So who had that feeling, maybe really small, like this connection, this leaning connection, this full, healthy connection, this good relationship became less at the point of contact. Who felt that during the movement? One person, the rest was less aware. Everybody, everybody notices it, right? Because it cannot be constant and that's okay, but notice when this is less, it's no Aikido, it's if you say it in a nice way, it's we're practicing, we're discovering. You say it in a bad way, it's no connection, it's no harmony, it's an Aikido. Yeah. But we will go into that because you always have to maintain. And as Naga, I have to receive this energy from the other one, always. When he stops sending, then he says, I don't want to be in connection with you. And he said, yes, you want. I hold you and I force you into this connection. And then I throw you on the ground because it's Aikido and it's harmony. Right? I repeat myself many times, but it starts to get more clear, right? And this happens inside because you're fighting, fleeing, it's just a human being. So we do Katate Kosadori maybe, and then the same thing, and it's the end of the session, so you don't have to pay attention. So just he relaxes into me, he relaxes into me, and not towards there, towards me. It's me, he relaxes into me, yes, so we're playing with it. Now it's going there, my arm is not leaning in me, leaning in this point. Right, so still forward, hook is there, I'm still there. So if I come to you, it's very relaxed. I'm leaning into you. You do this exercise really, whatever you want. Right? I'm leaning into him. Right? So it's really nice. I go to him on a platter, I offer a lot of ki. Just work with it. And it's continuous. You kind of hold in my hand and you're through this connection into you, right? And now you're pulling back and whatever comes, you will see. So just play a little bit with it. Give 5 minutes.
ありがとうございました。
So 1:30 we continue.